Wow. The 49ers just traded Jordan Mason and pick number 187 to the Minnesota Vikings for pick 160 and a 6th round pick in 2026. This is a great trade for the Vikings. They get a hell of a starting running back for nothing. The Niners moved up 27 spots in this year's draft late and got a 6th round pick next year. The Vikings get Jordan Mason, who's a great fit for them because they're kind of a finesse team. They're a dome team. They throw the ball a lot to Jordan Addison and Justin Jefferson, and their running back is good but kind of small and can't take over games, or does it? Aaron Jones. Now you have a perfect complement to Aaron Jones, kind of like in Detroit with Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery. This is quite similar. This is a team that's going all in. This is a team that thinks it can win the Super Bowl this upcoming year and is striving to do just that. Meanwhile, are the Niners tanking? I don't know. I mean, they just got significantly worse. Clearly, they're going to draft the running back, and he may or may not be good. When Kyle Shanahan drafts running backs early, he usually misses. But give it another shot this year. What's funny about this is Jordan Mason ends up getting 2 years, $7 million guaranteed from the Vikings. Today, the 49ers gave 2 years, $8 million to Kyle Juszczyk. So the Niners essentially had a choice. They could give a 2-year, $7-8 million contract to a 25-year-old running back who's going to turn 26 in May. Or they could give that essentially that same contract to a 33-year-old fullback who's going to turn 34 in April. Of course, they chose the fullback who's ancient. Don't get me started. Why would you want a guy who's actually a threat to score touchdowns and a guy who could go for 1,000 yards and score 10 when you could bring back the 34-year-old guy who's going to give you 250 yards tops, maybe 3 touchdowns on the season? I don't understand that. You said you wanted to get younger, and so you get a lot older. But, I mean, at the same time, it doesn't really seem like the Niners are trying that hard to be competitive this year. If they happen to compete, if they happen to win, wonderful. That's gravy. But really what they're trying to do now is save as much cash as possible, and this saves them more than $5 million because they gave him a 2nd-round tender, and there was no freaking way they were going to pay him $5 million while they were also paying Christian McCaffrey $19 million a year. So Vikings in a great position. I don't know if they're going to win the Super Bowl, but it's interesting they're transitioning to a quarterback on a rookie deal, J.J. McCarthy, and so they can load up the rest of their team with a bunch of expensive players, kind of what the Niners did the last few years when Brock was cheap. Now they're preparing to pay him a lot of money when they don't have to, and gutting the team, but keeping Kyle Juszczyk, which is the smart move. So Jordan Mason, it was a pleasure to watch you play. Vikings just got a hell of a player. And the Niners, I mean, if you're into the draft, start looking up running back prospects in rounds 2 and 3, because Kyle Shanahan almost certainly is not only going to take one, but trade up for one. And one running back the Niners have met with already is Caleb Johnson. Caleb Johnson from Iowa. I'm talking about him like I know him. I've watched his highlights. I've seen he's a one-cut runner, baby. Explosive with a little bit of 3-down capability. So maybe Caleb Johnson in round 2 or 3. Maybe Travion Henderson from Ohio State. I'm a draft guru. I know all these guys. Kyle's going to pick the right guy for sure.